Hey, a lot of people talking about showing up. Some people denigrating on my showing up rule. It is, ladies and gentlemen, not 80% of success, regardless of what anyone tells you. It is probably more like 99.9% of success. And anybody that says otherwise is just trying to get some attention unnecessarily, because I already love all you guys. Check it out. Like, if you don't show up, you have no chance of anything happening. And once you show up, physically show up, then you got a chance of the rest of you showing up and you being freaking unbelievable superstar. But if you don't show up for the audition, the sales call, the speaking gig, whatever it is, you don't show up for work, man, nothing. If you don't show up and buy that lottery ticket, you can't win it. Then you got to get a little lucky. Then you got to persist. Then you got to do all the other things you got to do. But first, you got to show up.
People don't show up for one of three reasons. Number one is you're afraid. You're afraid of rejection. You're afraid of failure. You're afraid of it not working out. And so you just don't show up. Number two is you're not consistent. You show up some days, but you don't show up other days because you don't have the routines and habits in place to make you show up consistently every single day. And number three is you don't want to. You don't want to show up because you don't actually enjoy the thing that you're about to do. You would rather procrastinate on it because you don't love it, and showing up is more painful than just sitting around. So my goal today with this video is to help you bust through these so that you can show up for life and have the impact that you want to have. So I think the fear of showing up is actually a good thing. It means that you are doing something different, something outside your comfort zone, something that is not normal, that is new, and that's good. You want to be pushing the envelope. If there was nothing that you were afraid to show up to today, tomorrow, next week, then you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not pushing against your boundaries and comfort zones. And so even today, I had to show up. And again, it should be every single day. So today, I was procrastinating on sending out an email to Grant, as well as a couple other people, where I'm looking at doing more collaborations, more work on my YouTube channel, more cross-pollination connection to other successful YouTubers to help the whole entrepreneur YouTube community grow, right? I want to get the message out there. I want to be playing a bigger game. And so I emailed Grant and I emailed 4 other people with a new idea that I had. So when the idea was first suggested to me about doing this and reaching out, I had a little bit of nerves, like, okay, it's gonna require an ask. I might get rejected, it may not work out. And I had it scheduled for today because today was my YouTube day. And so I look at the list today and I'm like, maybe I should start with 1 person or 2 people or just pick the easy people. And just the fact that I felt that, just the fact that that was one of the reasons meant I had to go and do 5. I had to do a bigger number. I had to go after the harder people. I had to do the people that I thought may say yes, may say no, may make me look bad if they say no. And a lot of it is just head games. The honest truth is, Grant's probably not gonna care. Grant's probably gonna say yes. Like 98% chance he says yes, and he passes it on to somebody on his team. We start working together and we create the collaboration. 1% chance he ignores it, and 1% chance he says no. But it's not the logical, rational things that hold us back. It's the emotional, fearful things. And so what I've trained myself to do is anytime I feel that oh my God, it may not work out, then I have to do it. I have to do it. I have just to show myself, because the worst thing you can do is get to the edge of the cliff and say you're gonna jump and then not jump. It's better not to catch that you're nervous. It's better not to even come up with the idea, to just float around in ignorance. Ignorance is bliss, than to catch it and then play small. And so as soon as you catch it, I've trained myself, I want you to do the same thing. As soon as you catch it, train yourself to do it. Even if it doesn't work out, just training yourself that you don't back down when you are afraid. So I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that you can follow to help you conquer your fears, to help you show up consistently every day. Let's do it. Number 1 is tell yourself that you do scary things. One of the biggest reasons why people don't advance their ideas forward is because it's scary. It's scary. You're afraid. Amazing. That is now no longer an acceptable reason. You do scary things. You love scary things. You embrace scary things. You want to do scary things. This isn't just a mindset trick. It's actually true. You want to do scary things. You do. What's the opposite of scary things? The opposite of scary, if you walk through life and you're never scared of anything, it's not that you're super confident. No, it means that you're living inside your comfort zone. It means you're only doing things that have zero fear, that you have absolute certainty in because you've done it before. You're bored. You're living inside your bubble. And you need to break out, because that means you're photocopying your life every single day. If there's nothing in your calendar that makes you scared, you hate your life. And so pay attention to the language. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Pay attention to when you feel afraid. And as long as it's not against your code of ethics or doing something stupid, don't go jump out of an airplane without a parachute because you're afraid, right? Most of the things you're afraid of are not life-threatening. Teach yourself that you do scary things, you love scary things, and you're not allowed to use that as an excuse anymore for not taking action. Number 2 is think, what makes you soar? What is the thing that gets you feeling bold, alive, confident, ready to take action, wanting to show up to life? What is it? I go through 5 S's every morning as part of my morning routine. The first is sing, and then sun, and then soar, and then sweat, and then scare. The most important part is soar though. It's the thing that I do to make me come alive, that makes me want to soar. And so for me, what I do is I think about an entrepreneur that I helped yesterday, and then I pull up my phone, and then I record a message. And I share that to my YouTube stories, Instagram stories, Twitter, LinkedIn, I put it everywhere. I need to feel like the work that I do matters. Right now, I'm just talking to a camera. I'm just talking into a camera right now, and later it's gonna be edited and it's gonna be thrown up on YouTube, and lots of people are gonna watch the video. That's crazy. It's hard to imagine, because I'm just sitting here in my office talking into a camera. And so I need to remember that the work I do has purpose, that this matters to some people, right? That people rely on my videos every day as a part of their routine. And that helps make me soar. So I wake up just like everybody else. I'm tired. I don't know what time it is. Sometimes, even this morning, I woke up, I didn't even know what day it was. Is it the weekend? I had no idea, right? You wake up, I'm not coming out of the day saying, yeah, oh my gosh, let's go, right? That's not how anybody wakes up. Nobody. That's not how Grant Cardone wakes up, Evan Carmichael, Tony Robbins, nobody. That's not how we wake up. The difference is the habits that you set on a daily basis to demand that success, to demand that you show up. And so what is the thing that helps make you soar? Maybe it's remembering the impact you want to have. Maybe it's sharing a message to YouTube, to Instagram, to LinkedIn. Maybe it's doing an act of service. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's reading. Maybe it's watching these videos. What is it that makes you feel like you want to soar? And then don't randomly hope that it happens. Demand that it's part of your morning routine. Because if you woke up and did the thing to make you soar, to make you feel bold, confident, unstoppable, and you did that every day for the next year, your life will be dramatically different. You will not recognize the person who you used to be. The challenge is you're not consistent in soaring. And so I need you to make that part of your morning routine. And then number 3 is understand, what is your Michael Jordan talent? What could you be the greatest in the world at? You could be the greatest of all time at something. You are. But what is that thing? Most people are living way below their potential because they settled. You settled too early. You settled because you were pressured. You settled because you were afraid. You settled because you ran out of time, or at least you felt you did. That's not an acceptable answer anymore. You could be the greatest in the world at something. And if you're procrastinating on something, it's either because you're afraid of the thing, in which case you need to go and do it because you do scary, you do afraid, right? Back to tip number 1. Or 2, you just don't like it. You procrastinate because you don't like it. And if you continue to do work that you don't like, you're never going to be the best, because you're going up against people who love it, right? If you're going up to play basketball against Michael Jordan, you better love the game as much as he does, or you're going to lose. If it's just a strategy for you, you're going to lose. And so look at the thing that's in front of you. Look at the thing that you are not showing up for. It's for one of those 3 reasons. Either you're afraid to do it and therefore you must do it. Or 2, you don't have consistent habits, in which case you need to put the thing that makes you soar into your morning routine. Or 3, you just don't actually want to do it. And stop forcing yourself to do it. Go off and find the thing that you have Michael Jordan level talent at. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I wanna know, where do you need to show up in life today? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you promise to take action after watching this video, give me a #believe down in the comments as well.
My story is that I am a researcher, and I never thought I would have a big public career. And so I did a TED Talk that went very viral. And in the wake of that, I was kind of everywhere for a couple of months, on every CNN.com, NPR. It was everywhere, and something I wasn't used to. And The marching orders from my therapist and my husband were, do not read the comments online. So I read all the comments online. And so one morning, I woke up and there were 2 or 3 new articles out, and I started reading the comments. And they were devastating. They weren't about my work, they were about me. They were super personal. And they were the things that creative people play in their mind and then give up doing what they really want to do. Like if I asked every single one of you, what would you try if you knew people would never say this about you? What would this be? Those were the comments that morning. Of course she embraces imperfection. What choice does she have? Look how she looks. I feel sorry for her kids. Less research, more Botox. Just mean personal attacks, the things that really, up until that moment, had inspired me to stay very small in my life and my career, just so I could avoid those things. So that morning, Steve and the kids leave. I stay home. I get on the couch, and I watch 8 hours of Downton Abbey. And when it's over, I don't want to turn off Downton Abbey. Because the minute you turn off Downton Abbey, then it's like soccer practice and dinner and back to the mean people, and maybe, should I get Botox? And maybe if I stand still when I talk. So I get out my laptop and I do a search for who was president in the United States during the Downton Abbey era. Have you ever done that? Like you're numbing with TV or a movie, and so when it's over, you just like stay in that space by like learning more about the actors and what's going on. I've been doing this long enough to know this is like, you're laughing with me, not at me. So I put it in, and Theodore Roosevelt comes up, and a quote comes up. And I read it, and this is what it says. It's a quote from a speech that he gave in the early 1900s at the Sorbonne, and a lot of people call it the Man in the Arena speech. And this is the passage that changes my life. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done it better. The credit belongs to the person who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred with blood and sweat and dust, who, at the best, in the end, knows the triumph of high achievement, and who, at worst, if he fails daring greatly. So the moment that I read that, I closed my laptop, and this is what shifted in me. 3 huge things. First, I've spent the last 12 years studying vulnerability, and that quote was everything I know about vulnerability. It is not about winning, it's not about losing, it's about showing up and being seen. The second thing, this is who I want to be. I want to create. I want to make things that didn't exist before I touched them. I want to show up and be seen in my work and in my life. And if you're going to show up and be seen, there is only one guarantee, and that is you will get your ass kicked. That is the guarantee. That's the only certainty you have. If you're going to go in the arena and spend any time in there whatsoever, especially if you've committed to creating in your life, you will get your ass kicked. So you have to decide at that moment, I think for all of us, if courage is a value that we hold, this is a consequence. You can't avoid it. The third thing, which really set me free, and I think Steve, my husband, would argue has made me somewhat dangerous, is kind of a new philosophy about criticism, which is this. If you're not in the arena also getting your ass kicked, I'm not interested in your feedback. Period. That's it.
If you want to see the one-on-one I did recently with Grant, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
True wealth cannot be created working. It can only be created investing. Elon Musk is completely invested. He has no cash and no houses.